This is Billy Bowlegs the third, a Seminole Indian. This guy, look at him. Look at the hair, look at the skin, look at the phenotype. This is him again with another Seminole Indian and some white tees behind him. This is actually the same guy in 1900s because he lived to be an old age. So we was able to get a photograph of him at an old age in color. Notice how dark he still is. Let's get a little bit closer. Look at the man, okay? Yes, that is really him. Now, this is a different Billy Bowlegs, 1810 to 1864, that apparently doesn't have any connection with this person, but it's kind of iffy because in some of the documentaries, they show this person along with photographs of this person when they're talking about the same person. So something smells a little fishy. What else is fishy is the other guy. His complexion seems to change over time, and the face doesn't really look like it matches the photo. Look at the face. Look how much more of a lighter gray the face is compared to the darker shades, stronger shades of the hair and everything else. But also look at the hands. Look how dark the hands are compared to what they try to show a lighter shade of light coming in on the face. But they would also draw the man like this. Again, this is not the same person, apparently, that I said before from the beginning, but notice the different shades that they continuously depict this man in on so many occasions. And notice how they show him now with a pew-pew, very similar to this photo.
Is a man named Billy Bowlegs. American military has given negotiation over to a man named Captain John Casey, who is named the Indian agent for the time. These two know each other from the war. They actually get along, and because the fort down to destroy Billy Bowlegs' crops. They destroy the crops and they continue on. They get to Fort Shackelford and find it burned to the ground. They make camp, and on the way back, Billy Bowlegs and his people attack. The destruction of the crops was basically the final straw. Lieutenant George Hartsuff is sent down to Fort Shackelford to determine if it's still usable. On the way, they find Billy Bowlegs' camp. Billy Bowlegs and his people are not in the camp at this point.
So in that video, they showed a few different versions of this so-called Billy Bowlegs. Now, this is one that they showed, and I know this is from a propagandist book. I found this book. I'm not going to go into that, though. This is another vid photo they showed. Now, tell me if the head matches the body. What do I mean by that? Look how darkened the face is compared to the shading of the rest of this photograph. The heavy blacks are not as dark as the heavy blacks right there, nor the grays. So it looks like a face has been changed. Look at the hands, look at the face, come on. But they also showed this one. Now this is Billy Bowlegs the third, not supposedly the one that fought with them, but you show him here with a rifle, okay? Now these particular two Billy Bowlegs are supposedly not related. They say that Billy Bowlegs here took on the name as honor to past people who took on the name Billy Bowlegs, the warrior that they showed before, who looks like this apparently, or that. Now before I go forward, let me show you in the National Archive records some photographs of more Seminole Indians. There's some, here's more, here's a couple more. Here is a photograph of the family all together. Let me get close up for you. It's an even closer look right here. And this is one I found as well with several members right there in the front. But long story short, back to this guy, they all very much look like him, similar to these people. Okay, that's him again, and that's a woman. She looks like those other people I just showed you. Now on the Osceola history website about Billy Bowlegs III, the guy right here that I've been showing you versus the other guy. So let's get him out of our head for right now. But this guy, let's focus on this guy. Now they have photographs of this guy. And down below it says His maternal grandfather was the great Seminole warrior Osceola. This is the Osceola History website. One more time, look at him real quick. Not one more, but look at him before I show you his grandfather. This is him. Look at the hair. It was straight, but not, likely put something on there, but they had good hair. But this is how they depict his grandfather, Osceola. Okay? And he has a long history. Osceola was a big warrior. But long story short, look at the color of that guy. So I started looking up more information, like how does he tie to that guy, right? How does Billy, his name was Billy Fool, which Powell, Powell, is what Chief Osceola's real last name is. So if he's, the last name would have changed because it would have been his daughter's husband's last name. So that could have been Fool. But I found another photo of Billy Bowlegs III, okay? Now remember, this is Billy Bowlegs III in his older years, looking like this. Well, that's the type of Billy Bowlegs they wanted to show you on their website on the Seminole tribal history. They show this Billy Bowlegs way of old age and in a lighter light, almost making it look like he could be conspicuous, almost like me, when really he was darker than that. And it kind of changed a little bit over time because this was the man in all his glory. Now when I look up who his parents is, it's old Nancy, which is his mother, okay? And they talk about his uncle Jim Jumper. In looking at the genealogy of Mr. Billy Powell, Mr. Osceola, I didn't see a Nancy listed as a daughter. If it's his maternal grandfather, as stated here on the Osceola History website, unless they're mistaken, then something would be fishy. But when clicking through some of these names here, for this guy to be a maternal grandfather or to be a Seminole, and people who are his offspring come off looking like this, that, and are you kidding me? These people are related to the so-called Osceola through this genealogy website, but these are some of the people that you see as a Seminole in the history in the archives. Now, I will say this and show you this. That is true. At some point, they started letting other looking people into these tribes. Now, you got to think in Florida, DeSoto was already there from the early 1500s, and the Spaniards started populating the area from the 1500s, 1600s, and 1700s before all the people from the colonies started coming there. So, yeah, there's going to be people that look like this and that there over time, and, come in and mix and have people that might look like a little bit of a mix. Just like you got people back then pulling tricks and stuff like this, where he's acting like he's a tribal chief. Look at him, and he's colluding with what does it look like? You know what I'm saying? Early American Airlines. And look at her holding a tribal blanket. Look, this is early day corruption. So to see Mr. Osceola sit here, and in his genealogy, I start seeing stuff like this. And stuff like this, his grandson looked like this, and I can't find his mother no further on there, so maybe that's not his grandson. But either way, we do know he's listed on the Seminole tribal website, along on the same page as Mr. Osceola Powell. Look at another thing. He also, after old Nancy was unalive, he was taken in by his uncle, Mr. Jim Jumper. Funny, on that same page, I found a Betty Mae Tiger Jumper, and look at what she looks like. Do you think that's his real aunt? Do you think that's his uncle's sister? Because you'd have to intermarry quite a bit with a lot of darky darks to get back to that darkness that he got right here. And what they try to play you and show you his older photos and put it in this light and have it all washed out and all that. But now I'm gonna go back to the old Billy Bowlegs, but that's why I brought up about him, because if they're lying about the other ones, they got to be lying about this guy. Because look at these photos. They look doctored. That face does not match the body. Stuff like this always happens. Point home in the last few seconds. This is a book I found, and this was the Spanish version of the book, and you see what they show an Indian look like. I found the same book in English in the Cornell Library, and all they did was change the face and change the garment. Look at it now, and look at the face, and look again at this one. They always been playing.